What is going on, Illumineers? And welcome back to the Madhouse. And this is our final Scar Set Champions recap. And I hope that everybody had a good time. I hope they had a good month and, something to just celebrate the new year. I hope that if you only got to play one, it went well for you. Overall, I just hope that you had fun. I love Set Champs because it is a more competitive nature going for the scars and the playmats, but at the same time, it's still very local centric, and travelers are not as encouraged to travel anymore. So you just get to play your locals in a more competitive manner, but still have a lot of fun doing it. So we got to highlight a lot of really cool, sexy, off meta lists, some really cool tech cards, and we're doing the same in this video with our last couple decks. I think there's 17 in total. And there are some really spicy ones. So this one I did a little bit differently though. I do highlight some lists that did not win playmats, but also just won scars. And I say just extremely loosely, but it's worth celebrating as well. Like anything is worth celebrating. If you went and just had a good time, it's worth celebrating. But before we get started, I do want to highlight again, there's still time to enter the giveaway over here. Again, lots of different items to win in that giveaway. So go on over. And then I also wanted to highlight this event that 20 Lore Pro is putting on. This is the Lorcana Championship Hunter Burton Memorial Gaming to Prevent Suicide event. If you're in the Texas area, try and give some support. Being military, suicide's a big part of my occupation, and I do a lot of public speaking for suicide prevention. So anytime I get an opportunity to support something like this, I try and jump at the opportunity and in any way that I can help. And by promoting it, I just want more people to be aware that it is an event that they're putting on because it's a really big deal. If you don't know who Hunter Burton is, check it out. You can I'll put the links in the description so you can kind of get more details on the event, but also so you can register. It's down in Texas, so if you're in the local area, please register. Please support them in any way that you can. It would mean the world to me. It would mean the world to them and everybody else um, that will be able to feel that support that you gave. So, and lastly, you can also just support by watching, and that even if you just watch, that is also massive support because it allows 20 Lore to continue to do things like this. With all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into the first list, and we have my buddy Ray, who abandoned red blue, and good for you, man. Good for you. He played some Baja Blast and saw a lot of success with it. He took second 3 times, not quite getting that championship mat that he did get with red blue at the beginning of the set, but still getting second place with a Baja Blast deck that I believe under $100, which is awesome. He's running the Bellwethers, which is really cool because it's whenever you put a card in your inkwell, you can give something reckless. That's really sexy. My buddy Vince ran Baja Blast this past weekend, and there's something really fun about giving a Cursed Merfolk reckless, and then they have to challenge your character with a 0/1. um, so Baja Blast just doing what Baja Blast does. It's an annoying deck. They're using these cards to ramp into a Muses, and then they're singing How Far I'll Go while also bouncing your aggro cards. And then they're getting down to Clarabelle to refill their hands, and then the next turn or whenever turn 7 comes, after they've refilled their hand, they discard your entire hand. Ray's opting to run the Crickies in here. Cricky, just a really good card. It quests for 3, but it also turns all of your characters into little monsters. And the Tipo now becoming a 4/2 is pretty darn good. Your 1-drop Clarabelle, if you don't have the shift target, is pretty darn good. And then let's not forget the Peter Pan here that really, in my opinion, allows this list to be slow and do what it wants to do because Peter Pan comes in exerted, and while this character is exerted, your opponent cannot gain lore. So that is really big deal. How many times have you lost to a blue deck where they just sit there and dime? And now Peter Pan, you have to challenge into it. So that really messes things up for them. And I love the deck. I love Baja Blast. I'll probably play it at locals tonight just to have a little fun because the set is coming to an end. But Baja Blast is getting pretty good for next set. Hint, hint. But moving on, congratulations, Ray. but we have Junior Varsity. He is a member of the Flower Farm running some Blurple, and this list should look familiar because it is very similar to what I ran at my set champs when I took third, and it's what we were kind of running a lot of. He ran the one let it go because it just feels really good. You get that Elsa down, and then Elsa the next turn on turn 4 can, so you hopefully clear something with Elsa um, on turn 4, and then turn 5 you can sing let it go, which feels really good while also continuing to develop your board. It's just a sexy little combo there. And then of course just running hyper draw. He opted to run 4 genies instead of 3 rabbits, but still those genies, as the since he ran this in the last week, the red blue burn deck was a little bit more popular, so you could afford to run more genies because they weren't running ice block Sizu, and that allowed these genies to just kind of quest, and if you didn't have brawl you just kind of lost, and that made the 4 genies really sexy. So Blurple, a deck I really love. I love ramp, like that's why I love the blue part so much. It's just fun. It's fun to ramp and do nasty things. I think it's really effective on the draw. So really good job, man, and congratulations. Moving on, we have Lawson taking first, and he did not do this weekend. This was the past weekend. He hit me up, but I really wanted to highlight this list because look at his matchups for the day. This is disgusting. This poor man, but he capitalized and it worked out well for him. When we look at these matches, he had the mirror, so purple steel mirror, and then blue steel. Uh, he lost to his wife, and it's probably the better move. Good for you. And then 3 red blues that he 2-0'd all of them, and then in top cut plays 3 more red blues. Like he played 6 red blues in one day. Just what a day, man. But way to just go in and dominate all of those red blue players. And it just does what purple steel does. You have all of your one drops that are getting early questing in. You have your Smees that don't get banished. You opted to run the Lawrences, which works really if you know you're going into a red blue heavy meta. Lawrence is a really effective tech option because it's not easy to clear for red blue. So really effective tech there. I'd be curious if you ran it because you knew you'd see a lot of red blue, or you just really liked Lawrence in the deck. It enables Bell really well. Also, the 4 goats, if you didn't like Lawrence, you could always run White Rose, right? And White Rose guaranteeing you that lore, but it's not questing for 2. It's a little bit easier to remove because of Medusa. Personally, I've said it before, I'm not always a huge fan of a lot of 1-drops. In wheel decks, I think it's appropriate because you're using the best draw engine in the game, in my opinion, right? And you're going to find those 1-drops most likely. But when you're not running, really like just when you're not running something that can draw as easily as a Whole New World or Flaversham, 1-drop, so many one ofs kind of scares me a little bit, but it worked for you. It worked for you really, really well. So congratulations, man. I'm glad that you were able to show Red Blue, who's boss, take home that first place mat and really just dominate. So good job, man. Moving on, we have Krabby O'Mondays, who took second place with some Ruby Fasa. And he's rocking the Lumieres. I love the Lumieres and Ruby Fasa, just protecting that Gaston. It protects Pongos really well. It turns everything to little tiny monsters. It trades really well. Goofy now trades really well. It's your characters can't be hand Sizu'd. They have to have multiple ice blocks now. Like, I love Lumiere. I think it is 100% a must-have in Ruby Fasa. You have, of course, the Gaston and Raya combo, which is just really good because that allows you to do wacky turns where you play Mulan or Gothel in one turn with a Rapunzel to heal as well. You opted to run 2 actions. They are songs as well in Teeth and Ambitions, which I can see why, right? It helps with the aggro matchups, but it also enables the Rapunzel heal and the Julieta heal, which feels really good as well. But you also ran the 2 Prince Erics, and that is one of the most fun combos in the world to use a Prince Eric and a Teeth and Ambition. You blow up your own Eric, you deal 2 damage to something, and you get to banish something. And that is really sexy as well. So, congratulations, man. I love seeing Ruby Fossa do really well. I love this idea of Gaston cheating out characters. And yeah, just really good job on your second place finish. We love to see it. Moving on, we have McLovin taken first with a purple steel locations deck. And this just spicy, right? Something about location decks just always gets me so excited. And this, you can almost call it a pirate deck because we got John Silver's, Captain Hook, Smee's, John Silver's, and like Fire the Cannons, which is very pirate esque. We got Fairy Ship, very pirate esque, and I just love it. You got this really great curve of 1 drop, 2 drop, or even playing Smee is really good, and then you can go into that John Silver. But if you go the John Silver route, maybe you want more locations early on, or just John Silver on 3, and then into your turn 4, you can potentially drop 3 or 4 locations, or even 2. You're happy with 2 locations. So I love to see it. I love the smash. That's really good. Answers Ariels, answers the 3 drop Ursulas, and then you have a really great draw package with Yzma. It's another card that we don't see a lot of, or we did not see a lot of this set, but it draws really well. It draws you 3 cards. So that is, yeah, draw until you have 3 cards. So if you go down to 0, which is very likely when you play so many low cost cards, it's very likely you draw 3 cards off of Yzma, and that is really sexy as well. So congratulations, man. I love to see a spicy list like Purple Steel locations run away and take a first place. Good job, man. You stole the booty. Moving on. We have my what a guy Gaston, and this is wonderful. And this one's really cool to highlight because Wonderful is a goon, and I met him for the first time at our set champs at Born to Game in Wilmington, where he did get top 8 at that match, and then the next day though he went on to win for the day. So he had a really great weekend running what he knows and loves. He's been on this Mufasa for a really long time. He's still opting to holding on to a dream of Hydra being really effective, and it can be, for me, in my opinion, it's a little slow, right? I In a deck that's fighting to gain control, I find Hydra to be a little slow, but if it goes off, he goes off, right? He is a really effective card. Opting to run 2 World's Greatest Criminal Minds answers those. When you look at his deck, there's not any evasive cards here, so you're kind of up the creek without a paddle. If they play a Maui Half Shark, Prince Eric can answer the Half Shark. You do have Tremaines and Maleficence, but you have to have those. And so the World's Greatest Criminal Mind just kind of helps enable that, as well as answer other things that might pop off, like a Big Cindy, whatever it may be. And then you can also just sing it, and that is really effective. So just a really good showing. Again, we see the Raya Gaston combo with Rapunzel heals. You see the aggro line, the good trading. You could surprise them with a Moana being able to challenge into something because of Piglet. And then, of course, we see the Lumieres coming in, the Pongos drawing you cards there when you can't get your Rapunzel heals. And then I love the spicy Wreck-It Ralph. This card, it's a 6/7 that quests for 2. And if you have a princess in your discard, you gain 2 lore and return it to your hand. So also some more draw. So I love to see it. Really sexy. I believe you were also running Enchanteds in your list. The Enchanted Surfer Stitches, maybe? Or maybe it was just the Enchanted Maui. That's why this one's a Maui. But love to see it, man. Congratulations. Moving on, we have Michael, another Ruby Fossilist. Ruby Fossa just went ham this weekend. In this one, we see Michael going in, and he's running a lot of spice. So he opts to run quite a few actions. And where he's getting, in my opinion, kind of that danger zone area. He's got 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 actions. But I think, when I listen to someone like Humble, who is most well known for Ruby Fossa, his area, he prefers none, but he thinks like 10 is the max. So you're not there yet. And what you're running is helping you control. But what I really love is you have not forgotten me. No one in their right mind is ever going to expect a Ruby Fossa list to run You Have Forgotten Me. So I love that spiciness. I love that you're doing it. You're opting to run the Doc over the Gastons and reducing your uninkable count, because when you look at this, you decided to go for Daisies instead. So just a really, really heavy aggro line of Daisy into Piglet into Doc and just going off, because if you do that, you could go Daisy, Piglet, Doc, Mufasa, and that's pretty sexy as well. You don't even have to worry about Rapunzel heals if you just quest for 2 and then quest for 3 and then quest for 2 and then quest for 2 and getting a character, hopefully, off of Mufasa. That's really neat. You opted to increase to 6 Mulans to help with this shift, so I'd be curious if you had a lot of aggro in your local meta, and that's why you went so hard on the Mulan shift line. But again, I love it. It's so much different than the other lists, and I that's why I love doing these videos, because I love seeing how everybody just does things so differently. And this was no disappointment. So congratulations, man, and I'm glad it went so well for you. Moving on, we have beautiful, lovely taxes with red blue. But this red blue is really interesting because look at all of these items. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 14 items in this list and not even running queen. So when we look at this list, he does opt to run the Prince John. That is letting you draw a card. Potentially, it's letting you play that item for free, right? That costs 5 or less. So you can do all these sexy things. You have the Fang to answer Big Sizus, Great Stone Dragon to just get crazy amounts of ink. The Poison Apple, which I featured in the very first video that my buddy Vince ran, that really helps you with aggro decks. It really helps Maui get value. Just yeah, I really like it. We're really low on the board wipe package here. So this does strike me as a list that did not run into a lot of aggro, period. When you don't have a lot of this, you only have the one Maui. And so yeah, I'd imagine you don't have a lot of aggro in your local meta. And I could be way off. I could be extremely wrong, but this list really worked for you. It's very spicy. There's a lot of items that no one sees in red blue anymore. You don't see poison apples much. You don't see fang crossbows much. You definitely don't see sword of truth much. And yeah, going for that Tamatoa dime combo at the end. You got Rhea to just do some sexy things. Maybe you use Rhea to ready the Prince John so you can use his effect twice. But you could ready anything with it, not just the Prince John. So congratulations, man, on a first place finish with a spicy red-blue list. Moving on, we have Akasha running an Emerald Amethyst Evasive Aggro. And does this take us back? I wasn't playing in set 3. I didn't have Lorcana yet, but I heard horror stories about Minnie Mouse, the surfer, the Evasive 132. And that is what this deck reminds me of. Just playing these evasive cards that you're just saying you need to have an evasive answer or you just lose. And so you have your evasive Pascals, you have your evasive Gogos, your evasive Brunies. And that Bruni can be really annoying. It's an evasive 2, and when he's banished, you get to draw a card. So that is really annoying. So you have draw power there, you have draw with Genie. You're still running Chromacons, which is just incredibly annoying because it forces your opponent into a world where they just can't banish your characters, or they need to be in a position where they can, but it doesn't matter because they have so many characters, or they don't need characters on the field. But you're going to need something to challenge into all of this. You've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 8 is 17 one drops, and when you look at them, 8 of them quest for 2. You have Disruption from Ursula. There's another evasive with Sir Hiss. You have the 1 Chromacon plus 4 goats and 4 roses. It's just a sexy list. You won 4 scars with it. Never quite able to get to the map, but you got what you went for, which I assume is the Scar. And yeah, congratulations, doing something that is different. I love seeing Bruni. It's my wife's favorite card. I have one signed in with a crown from Kindle Hale. So really good job, and I'm glad it worked out well for you. Moving on, we have Darth Scorpius. He is running what he calls Real Steel. Good movie, in my opinion. But when we look at this list, he's opted to run the Simba package, which I love. I love Simba. I was really high on Simba in the reveals. In the end, I couldn't get on board with the high cost uninkable, but I was really high on him. I really love the card. I think it's a beautiful artwork. I have my playset just in case. But when we look at this list, you have a lot of one drops, so you're almost always going to see that one, a lot of two, so you have a really great line of one, two, three, four. You opted to run the one big Cindy and the one grab your sword, so you ran four Zeuses, which I really love in this meta, and you're on 4, 8, 12, 16, 17 songs, which is a really good number as well. You opted to run two Naveen's, all right, and that, especially with grab your swords, that feels really good as well. Just a good sexy list that was able to take a second place finish. And you know I do love the Simba card. I really love the Simba card. I really love the shift line, being able to let you mulligan really heavy. And yeah, I'm glad it worked really well for you, man. Congratulations. Moving on, we have another Steel song list, but this one is really spicy. And this name right here is also the gentleman who won the Southside Games event and won the 10K. So he won a nice little $3,000 price uh, or bag, if whatever you want to call it. But this list is super spicy, and this is closer to what we had been looking at going into the event that he opted not to run. And what I love about this list is this card right here. This John Silver is awesome. Like, I love it. He's opted to run this John Silver, and I love the Piglet John Silvers because of what they do for Smee. And when you all saw him on Southside Games, he loves a nice aggro line, and so we still see the four daisies, the three piglets, so he can just go super aggro, and then your Smees don't get banished because of Piglet and John Silver, and then John Silver protects those cards as well, and then you have this top end John Silver. So a lot of the time when your opponent sees daisies, they see piglets, Smees, they're more apt to remove those than they are John Silver. So now on turn 5, you get to shift this 6/6/2 that has resist +2 and deals 1 damage to all the opponent's characters at the start of their turn, any readied characters. So good luck with Curse Merfolk, Chernobog's followers, things like that. Good luck with your Lawrences now. So I just think it's a really sexy card. I think that it's something that people won't expect. It's extremely hard to remove. Fox plus Crab no longer removes it like it does Big Cindy. Opts still to run the Spin, so just this super heavy aggro line. And then also just a turn 2 whole new world, just to really spice things up. And he did take first at his set champs with this list, so just really cool. I really like it, and I'm glad that it went well for you, man. Just a great month for you. Congratulations. Moving on, we have Monte Thompson, and Monte Thompson's running the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and he's running Ruby Fasa. I'd love to know if these are all enchanteds you have, but looking at the list, it's Ruby Fasa, 4 Lumieres. We love the Lumieres. He opted to run the Gastons over Doc, so being okay with the uninkable count. Speaking of, we're on 4. Oh, not that many. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So only 12 uninkables, which isn't a whole lot either. Yeah, I don't think it's too bad. I love the Chip and Dale, that spice in there. Running the Judy Hopps as well. So just a lot of really sexy things you can do here. Bringing cards back from your discard. Judy Hopps, Rhea, readying characters. Lady Tremaine being a great answer to Maui Half Sharks if they B-prep you. Just a lot of really cool options in here. So no Mulan shift line. Instead opting just to run the Scar and the big Sizus. nothing like a 5/5 evasive that quests for 4. That is super sexy. Always happy to see that. So a really good list. It won you a Scar. I like it. I really do. Running the Goofies. If these are all enchanted, I like it even more. If they're not, I still love it. But just a sexy, sexy Ruby Fossa list. And congratulations, man. Next up, we have Nasif Khan. I apologize if that's super wrong. But he ran red blue. He actually lost it against Freddy on the Steel Song list that took first. So this one right here. But he did let me know that they did just dice roll for it. So who's to say who would have won? But with that being said, just this is a pretty normal list as far as Ruby Sapphire goes. Running the Ice Block Sizu line, so we have the baby Sizu and Ice Blocks. We have the big Sizus, 3 B preps. This is the Tamatoa and the Lucky Dime. Like, this is a nasty list. This is a list that probably would have done pretty good into Freddy, but we'll never know. But all we can assume is that Steel Song would have won. But this is a list that's out for blood. You got the Vitalospheres that you can lay down. You got the Mauis, the 6 Mauis here. You've got still the Crab Dime, which is really nice. The Pirate's Life, which is a staple now. It's a really good list. He opted to run 2 Hideaways. It really answers those manners really well. Any location, any items, right? If someone decides to play a Lucky Dime too early, you can get rid of their Lucky Dime and they're not getting it back, which is really harmful when most decks are only running 1 anymore, if any at all. So a really good list with good tech options. Like, I like this list. I think it's a very just, I'm going to do what Sizu on Ice loves to do, and I've added some extra spice in here to have more win con. So congratulations, man, on your second place. Moving on, we have this young lady and or young sir. I apologize. Nope, no. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I love this list, and I'm so glad you sent it to me because this is awesome. And what I loved more than anything else, you won a mat, you won 2 scars, but what I loved more than anything else with this list is when you sent me this list, you said that the most important thing though is I had a lot of fun playing it. And again, I mentioned at the beginning of the video, like that ultimately that's all that matters. Like, you're spending your time to throw around cardboard. You better have fun while you're doing it. And if you're not having fun anymore, then what is it? Is it time to run something really spicy like this and shake things up, not copy pasta anymore? Is it, maybe you need to take a break, whatever it may be. But I love that you sent me that. Most importantly, I had a lot of fun playing this, and that is awesome. And I do not blame you for having fun playing this either. This is wild. Like, look at all these 3s. Like, you just fit in everything. And Vision Slab, which is wild. I had to look up what that card even did. I've never seen it played before, and I've already forgotten. I know that one of the effects, it's an item. One of the effects means damage counters can't be removed. And then something else along the lines of, I think it's if an opponent has damage, then you gain 1 lore, I think. And then Tiana, which is reminiscent. This is a card that is loved by many from back in the day that resists +2. If you have no cards in your hand, then your opponent can't play action. So that's really sexy because Tiana is extremely difficult to get rid of if you're not playing a baby Sizu. And yeah, this deck is just doing a lot of different things. You've got these Robin Hoods in here to get that Robin Hood shift line down. You've got some aggro lines with the Bonsai and the Cursed Merfolk, Disruption with the Kit and the Ursula. You're running the Prince Philip, which is a 3/2/2 with Ward, and then the Heathcliff, that is a 4-cost 3/3/2 with Ward. So those are sticky and hard to get rid of. You have the You Came Back to just really surprise people and to be like, oh, they're counting your board and they're like, all right, you have 18 lore on board. And then you're like, haha, not really. Here's a You Came Back. and you quest for an extra 2 to get game. And that is really sexy. You have the Emerald Chromacon to just be really annoying, because why not? It's a green deck. And then, of course, Doc for draw power, Hypnotic Deduction for draw power, I'm Still Here for draw power. Even your Robin Hood is potentially drawing you a card and replacing itself. I really love this list. I love why you played it. I love that it's a homebrew. I love everything about it. I really do. It's really awesome. So congratulations, and I'm glad that Set Champs went so well for you. So next up we have, all right, next up we have a Scar for a Scar, and then we'll talk about my favorite list of the week. But this list is a really fun red-blue list. Featured a lot of red-blue this weekend, but all of them just a little bit differently, and this one did not disappoint. He talked about his favorite play in doing this was Vitalisphere on 1, Ramp on 2, and then a Namari on 3, and just cleaving their board. And that is really, really sexy. Like, that is super cool, because odds are Namari will clear the majority of their board in that turn with a Vitalisphere. Like, that is, oh, that is, it is sexy, it is spicy, it is awesome, and I love to see it. And I love to see the reactions on your opponent's faces when they're feeling really good, and then you play a Namari on turn 3 and wipe their board. Like, I would just be so heartbroken. I'd imagine, looking at this list, that your local meta was super aggro. You're running Namari and you're running Scar. Like, that just screams to me aggro, aggro, aggro. Just lots and lots of aggro, because on top of running the 3 and 3, you're running 2 big Sizus and 3 B preps and 2 more Maui Hero to all. So this list just screams to me, I expect to play aggro all day long. And you probably did if you got first, because this list does look like it would suffer a little bit into the mirror. But if you don't run into the mirror, then you don't really care, because this list is going to beat the crap out of aggro. It's going to beat the crap out of Steel Song. It's going to do everything that you want it to do. And I bet it was a meta prediction and a really good meta call as well. So congratulations, man. And I'm glad that you were able to take first and end on a great, great day. All right, so I had the whole video done. I had it edited, I had it scheduled, I had it uploaded. I left the house, and as I'm pulling out of the driveway, I realized I forgot to include a deck that I really, really wanted to throw in here. This is not Vince. Vince just got me the list, but it's a buddy, it's a local of ours at Born the Game that ran this on Saturday and managed to get his first ever Set Champs promo card. So congratulations, man. And it's a deck that he's been running for a while and just really enjoys. And he's running the Ducks. He's running this support package because he runs support and then blows things up with Minnie Mouse, blows things up with World's Greatest Criminal Minds, and then he has Queen to also enable World's Greatest. Then he brings Revive in so he could draw with Rapunzel. He could draw, or he could banish something with Minnie Mouse. And then he's getting this questing power with McDuck Manor, or the lore from McDuck Manor. He's blowing things up to let it go. So ultimately, he's just trying to blow a whole bunch of stuff up and then just casually quest down to 20. And it worked for him. One of his opponents, like, got legitimately upset. He was playing red-blue and lost to this deck, and he was legitimately upset. And he's just playing this What the Duck deck. And really, what the duck. It's just really awesome. And it just, again, it's what I love about Set Champs. It's going out, running what you enjoy, having fun, and then you do all of that. And then you get the opportunity to still do well when the right matchups happen, when you draw the cards you need. Anything is possible. And so I was really happy to see him get his first ever Set Champs promo card. And so really, really congratulations, man, and way to do it with something as much fun and off meta as this. So with that, I'm going to throw this in the video. I'm going to re-upload it, and I hope you guys enjoy, and I'm glad I got to cover these. Our favorite list of the week has to be this one right here. And this is my favorite list. Again, I'm sure you guys already knew. I love I just love everything about it. I do. And I love everything about the message and all of it. Just play. I wanted to have fun. On top of having fun, I got to win. And that's even better. And on top of all of that, it was a homebrew. And that's even sexier. So, congratulations again to everybody. I hope Scar Set Champs went really well for you. And I hope that everything happened that you wanted to happen. If you didn't do quite as well as you did, practice, right? That's all it takes. And the other thing is if reach out to a coach, right? I've had a lot of great players on. I'm gonna have Sean Learn in a video here pretty soon. He does coaching for Steel Song. Mo does coaching for Green Purple. JDRR does coaching for Purple Steel and Blurple. But at the same time, all of these coaches do coaching on every bit of Lorcana, and so hit them up, and it I really, it's worth an hour of your time. I really believe that. They're all great human beings. They all coach differently, so ask them some questions first, but just congratulations, all right? And I hope that the weekend went really well for you. I hope the month went really well for you, and I hope that you're super excited for set 7 because where some of the cards can be a little aggravating, the set looks awesome, and I can't wait to play it, and I can't wait to see when everything is revealed. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm rambling. Make sure you check out the Hunter Burton Memorial. Please, if you can support it in any way, please do so. Even if supporting it is only watching their streams, please do so. Put it up on the computer, put it up on your phone, put it to the side, and just have it up. Even that is a huge support for a great cause. And then finally, make sure you get it in the giveaway. Please, I want to see people win stuff because you guys have supported me so much and I really appreciate it. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm done rambling. As always, remember, most importantly, stay happy and healthy. I'll see you around.